Imagine walking into your own business, disguised, unnoticed just to check on things. Only to hear your own employees mock your name, insult your vision, and reveal secrets that could ruin everything. That's exactly what happened when a black billionaire decided to buy a sandwich at his own diner undercover. What unfolded next left the entire staff speechless. You won't believe how it ends. This is the story they didn't want you to know. Hit that subscribe button now and don't blink, because this story takes twists you'll never see. It was a foggy Thursday morning in downtown Atlanta when Darnell Rivers stepped out of his matte black SUV, zipped up a worn denim jacket over his hoodie, and pulled a vintage Braves cap low over his eyes. His driver, Marcus, said nothing as Darnell walked alone toward Riverside Eats, the 1950s-themed diner he'd built from the ground up with love, sweat, and every dime from his first multi-million-dollar coding exit. Few people knew Darnell. He's grown up hungry literally, with nights where he'd dream of a bologna sandwich and wake up to nothing but tap water. It's why this diner wasn't just food eat, was redemption. Only now, something felt off. Yelp reviews had dipped. Staff morale was shaky. He'd heard whispers through the corporate grapevine, but Darnell didn't believe in boardroom rumors. He believed in facts. And the only way to know the truth, go where no CEO would dare. Behind the counter, undercover among his people, Darnell pushed open the door. The bell above jingled with that nostalgic ring. The smell of sizzling bacon filled the air, and a red-headed waitress in a mustard-colored apron barely glanced at him. "Sit wherever," she muttered. No eye contact, no smile. "Strike one." Darnell settled in a booth near the kitchen, head low, pretending to read the laminated menu even though he could recite it backwards. "Yo, you get that weird dude's order?" someone said, voice coming from behind the counter. "Nah, I ain't got time for these hobo types," a second voice answered, laughing. The first snorted. "This place been going downhill since Mr. Rivers stopped showing up. Bet he's out sipping champagne on a yacht while we bust our butts here." The second voice replied, "Girl, please, he ain't never coming back. Black billionaire, theft. He got lucky once. They say he can't even cook." Darnell froze, mid-bite of his grilled turkey sandwich. Those voices, Lisa and Jenna. He remembered hiring them. Bright-eyed college kids desperate for work. Now they were mocking him in his own space, while shorting customers on change and pocketing tips. His fingers tightened around the sandwich as his stomach turned. He was here to observe, but now he had to act. Darnell returned the next day, and the next. Different disguises. Sometimes a hoodie, sometimes fake glasses and a cane. He sat near the kitchen, near the restroom. He saw it all. Employees arriving late and forging clock-in times. Food being tossed in the trash instead of served. Portions being halved but prices kept full. Alyssa and Jenna weren't the only ones talking trash. Chef Mario, who Darnell once bailed out of a gambling debt, was running side orders out the back door for cash. Dishwashers were drinking on shift. And the floor manager, Tony Sweet. Grandmotherly Tanya is letting her nephew siphon Wi-Fi and steal meat deliveries in broad daylight. By day 5, Darnell had installed 2 covert cameras under tables and another inside the staff room. He wasn't being petty. He was protecting his dream. The footage was heartbreaking. Not just for what he saw, but for what he heard. "You know what's funny?" Jenna told a coworker. "Mr. Rivers built this diner for his people. Guess what? We're broke, and he's gone." "Some dream, huh?" Lisa added. "He talks all that uplift the community stuff, but where's he?" And now, I'd respect him more if he'd just sold to the Koreans like the old pizza place did. Darnell didn't sleep that night. Not out of anger, but disappointment. It's the kind that hurts deeper than rage. These weren't just bad employees. They were people he trusted, people he thought believed in the vision. But tomorrow, everything would change. He drafted a plan. Close for one day under the excuse of maintenance. Then host an emergency all-staff meeting. Only, ... It wouldn't be just any meeting. Darnell would arrive not as a stranger, but as himself, the boss they'd forgotten. At 7 a.m. sharp, every employee stood in the dining room. Some confused, some annoyed, some hungover. The blinds were drawn. The closed for maintenance sign hung crooked on the door. Then the lights flickered and in walked Darnell Rivers. No hoodie, no disguise. Just a crisp charcoal blazer, open collar shirt, and presence so thick you could slice it like pie. "Morning," he said calmly, letting the silence suffocate. Alyssa's jaw dropped. Jenna turned ghost white. Chef Mario choked on his own spit. Darnell stepped up on a chair and spoke plainly. "I built this diner because I believed in something. Not just food, family, community. Respect. I wanted to feed people the way I was never fed growing up." He scanned the room, eyes locking on every guilty soul. "So imagine how it felt to sit right over there." He pointed to booth 6, and hear my own team talk about me like I'm garbage. Imagine hearing tips stolen, food thrown out, hours lied about. Gasps, shuffling feet. "And guess what?" Darnell continued. "I've got receipts, videos, audio names." Someone whimpered, "But I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for accountability." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a thick envelope, and handed it to Tonya. "That's a list. Every person who betrayed this diner and this dream is terminated, effective immediately." 7 people were gone. Just like that. Darnell turned to the rest. "If you're still here, you've got one more shot. But from now on, we do things different. You steal, you're out. You talk down. On the mission, you're out. You serve cold fries. Guess what? You're out." The staff remained dead silent. "And one more thing," he said, cracking a rare smile. "We're launching a bonus system. Every month, the top performer gets 10% of the profits. If you give 100, you get 100. A single slow clap broke the tension, then others joined. Within minutes, the room buzzed with cautious hope. A new era had begun, and the boss. He wasn't hiding. The next month transformed Riverside Eats into a local legend. Word spread fast. The black billionaire boss who cleaned house and rebuilt from the inside out. The diner became a magnet for community leaders, school kids, retired veterans. And this time, the employees didn't just smile because they were told to. They smiled because they meant it. Darnell returned, often not undercover, but up front. He shook hands, served coffee, even cooked on Saturdays. And every time he did, customers snapped selfies, tagged to the diner, shared their stories. Viral TikToks showed before and after scenes of the once broken diner turned thriving hub. And in one emotional video, Darnell sat with a single mom named Carla, whose daughter used to steal condiments to survive. "Now," Carla said, "my baby eats here every day and I work here with pride." The staff that remained stepped up. Tanya, the new manager, introduced weekly training and mental health breaks. Chef Mario's replacement, a local culinary student named Deshawn, who crafted a soul food meats gourmet menu that won the Georgia Flavor Award. One night, Darnell stood by the window watching the neon sign glow. A stranger beside him whispered, "You, Mr. Rivers?" Darnell nodded. "Well, this place saved my life," the man said. "Thank you." Darnell turned to face him. "No, thank you. All I did was remind folks what this place was supposed to be, but the real cherry on top." A letter arrived from a national food magazine. "Congratulations, Riverside Eats is named one of the top 5 most inspirational diners in America. And the final twist. Alyssa and Jenna tried suing for wrongful consi. Alyssa and Jenna tried suing for wrong. Well, they lived on. And leaves a rich, long-lasting color. Moves long-lasting color. Riverside Eats is a mall skier sis. Leads place, my maze of the miskides. 6. Sis I sis. I concord to the IC8s, may I see. L Lee so node, may I see. I see we seaside, we are I like it. I make it so. We like it to said with it to samai to a. They are sen lapsik a to says it sense I. It's a to siki to sai ma like sick I get to slut to die sad to sai by to sit to I sit lie to it to sit to the tis this the sit to cock to the sit this termination. Their case. Tossed. The judge, black, female, and proud, smiled as she read the evidence. Case dismissed, she said. May you one day understand the meaning of integrity. Darnell laughed all the way back to Riverside. A diner, a dream. And a reminder that no matter how far you resif, you forget to check what's happening. Below, everything can crumble. But when you face the shadows head-on, that's when the real light shines.